comes down to cheating, even being used, some of those major signs of her going ahead and moving sketchy, being wishy-washy, hot and cold will come through. Now, one thing I will say is the only exception is if a woman is a pretty loyal type, and let's also say she is having a lot of trauma, a lot of issues that she's still discovering, needs to go through self-discovering, and also she's just not for the streets. She doesn't go that way. She doesn't want to run back to the street. An ex, rebound is not her thing anymore, or is not at all. With that being said, back to some of the signs that you might notice is she's going to start doing things like telling petty lies. Those petty lies most likely will go ahead and go into deeper lies. But how I want y'all to view it is at this point, she is going to start trying to change her narrative. So let me give you one basic lie that a woman can say, okay, well, it's not a big deal. Remember, gaslighting is definitely a real thing. So what she will then tell you is, hey, we're just going to be having a good time and you don't have nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, this is an actual gathering and there's going to be men there that are single. Now, I'm not saying that she cannot do this, but this is where it gets to next. A guy could have flirted with her all night. Then it led to him asking her for her number. And guess what? Your girl said, no, I won't give you my number, but I'll give you my socials. Why in the heck would she be doing that, right? If you guys are supposedly dating, and let's say having a strong thing, because some people don't really have a thing where it's like close to being solidified, or they just basically say we're just having a thing. In other words, it's just a thing. With that being said, the next aspect of it is also understanding that women tend to go ahead and feel like if they're not, how can I word this? If they're not doing anything that's against what they would normally do, let's say if they're in a state of like not caring so much, right? So they would say, oh, I would so do this if I cared so much about you or cared about this relationship. I would so do this if we were like 5 years in, right? That's another sign too, because what she's trying to tell you is that you're not the guy that I'm gonna do that for. I know it doesn't sound that great and it's something that is frustrating to deal with, but it is important to know that women pick and choose. Same way that they can pick and choose to give it up to a guy very quickly. Unfortunately, that's what's probably happening with you when she's deciding when to tell a lie, when she's deciding, oh, should I give this number out to this guy or should I not? Do I respect my man enough? That's literally also what it's telling. Do I respect my man enough to not give out my number? And on top of that, do I respect my man enough to tell him? Right? What's worse is when you have to find out stuff, which leads into you can get petty lies, and sometimes they're not petty, they're big lies too. As I mentioned, she's trying to make it be petty, but it's a big deal. The next aspect can be, it can move on to hiding things. I'll break this down in a second, but if y'all have any situations or any signs you want to give out to other fellas, go ahead and do so, because it actually helps when you mention your story. And I love to see you guys commenting, communicating with each other. Also, I be in the comments and helping you guys out. I actually make sure to go back to comments. Sometimes, I'm posting a lot, so I try to do my best to get back to everybody, and I feel like I've been doing a really good job. Okay. The last aspect is knowing that you can join as a free member and get more beneficial videos, or let's say content exclusive, at least one a month if you join as a free member. If you want more than that, you can go ahead and get more than that. There's 250 plus that you can catch up on. And also just remember, consultations, all other stuff that you want access to that could help you is on my website. Now, to another sign, as I was saying, going ahead and unfortunately hiding things. Hiding things can look like from a physical standpoint, or literally not just telling you the truth, or yes, it's lies, but hiding things can be waiting to tell you something. So let's just say, for instance, her ex viewed her story. Let's say, for instance, she is going back to, let's say, a location that she knows that an ex, or she knows that it's a hot place for let's say for activities that's not, let's just use the word appropriate, right? So if she's doing things such as like that, and she's not letting you know, updating you what she's up to, and hiding it or waiting until last minute, that's unfortunately a bad sign, and there's a high chance that she is hiding something from you, cheating on you. Now, remember, like, putting herself in positions and environment that is gonna set herself up can be very risky, but again, she could still show respect. So you want to be attentive to, is she respecting you? Is she valuing the relationship? Another thing I want you to remember too is that if a female is using you, it could easily go on to, yes, cheating on you. Because obviously, if she gets what she needs and she can leave, that's a wrap for her. And if you want a part 2, and I kind of mentioned like a few different stuff, right? So if you want a part 2 on different things I mentioned, definitely let me know, because I'm going over a few different things briefly. Now, I want to speak a little bit more about being used and feeling that way, that sorts of stuff, right? So if you feel like this woman's going ahead and telling you like, hey, I need this by this time, or every time you can't do something for her, she's in her feelings about it, or let me give you another example. She is calling you up. Sometimes it's late at night, but calling you up more for beneficial things for herself. And if, again, she can't get her way, she's in her feelings. Now, it doesn't always mean that if she's calling you late, it's always for a bad thing. Remember, your circumstance, situation really matter, right? So it's going to tell you a lot about, let's just say, how she is at, or let's say where she's at, that sorts of stuff. The reason why I say this is that if a woman is obviously like at home and intoxicated or mind altered or something, sometimes it could just be that she's in her feelings, right? Those things can actually have an effect on how she reacts, or let's even say goes about things. With that being said, it doesn't still mean that it's not the other case, because the other case can mean that she's going ahead and having herself be a specific certain way with you. And sorry, y'all, I am driving, but I am multitasking. So I want to go ahead and wrap up with saying, just make sure when you're dealing with a woman, you are not allowing her to make you feel like you need to act a certain way, be a certain way, because you never want to go ahead and lose respect with a woman, or have a woman not think that she needs to go ahead and do these things with you. In other words, I'm just saying to you, I don't want y'all to ever think that how she's acting, her behavior is tolerable and you're enabling it. Or let's even say, for instance, she's feeling like, okay, well, all men should be this way, like this with me. Entitlement and double standards kicking in too much, and that ego is getting the best of her. Now, to sum this all up, just remember, if she is giving you really different signs, she's not like herself, or you don't really know her and it's hard to have the judgment of she's not that type of female, then there's a high chance that you need to think more clearly about the situation and not believe that she is not using you or not cheating on you. Now, I will just say there's so much more to elaborate on, like legit, I can't just leave it at this, but for now, we'll just leave it at this, and I'll continue on a different time. And sorry about the noise, y'all. Like I said, I am driving, sorry about that, but I wanted to do a quick video right now. So I love y'all, take care of yourself per usual, and I will talk to y'all very much soon. Bye, y'all.